In a world where kings are born, one boy was destined to conquer not just kingdoms, but the annals of history itself. This is the tale of Alexander, a boy king with the world at his feet. In the heart of ancient Macedonia, a young prince was born under the watchful gaze of destiny. His birth was not an ordinary one. From the very beginning, whispers of prophecies swirled around him, prophecies that foretold of a leader whose influence would stretch across continents, of a warrior who would conquer the known world, of a king whose name would echo through the annals of history. This was the destiny that awaited Alexander. His father, King Philip II, was a man of grand vision. He saw a future Macedonia that was not just another kingdom in the fragmented Greek world, but a dominant force, a unifying power that would bring the bickering city-states under a single rule. It was this vision that he sought to instill in his young son, a vision that would shape the course of Alexander's life. In the royal court of Pella, the capital of Macedonia, Alexander's childhood was steeped in lessons of statecraft, warfare, and leadership. His every step was guided, his every action observed. For he was not just a prince, but a prince with a prophecy to fulfill. Yet it was not just the prophecy that made Alexander special. Even in his early years, he exhibited a keen intelligence, a fierce determination, and an unyielding courage that set him apart. His tutors marveled at his quick grasp of complex ideas, his soldiers admired his fearless approach to training, and his subjects respected his fair and just nature. The influence of his parents, especially his mother Olympias, was profound. Olympias, with her strong personality and fervent belief in the divine destiny of her son, nurtured Alexander's ambition, fueling his desire to fulfill the prophecies that surrounded him. As young Alexander grew, so did the expectations of a kingdom waiting for its destined leader. The stage was set for the prince to step into the shoes of the king, to take the reins of a kingdom yearning for greatness, to embark on a journey that would forever change the landscape of the world. For in the heart of Macedonia, a prince was being shaped, a prince destined for greatness. Amidst the grandeur of the royal court, young Alexander was raised under the influence of two strong personalities. His father, King Philip II, was a man of great ambition and military prowess. He transformed Macedonia into a formidable military power, setting the stage for his son's future conquests. Alexander's relationship with Philip was complex, filled with both admiration and competition. Philip's military exploits and strategic acumen served as a blueprint for Alexander, who would later outdo his father on the battlefield. On the other hand, Alexander's mother, Olympias, was a woman of fervent religious beliefs and political cunning. She imbued Alexander with a belief in his divine destiny, claiming he was the son of Zeus himself. This belief would later fuel Alexander's ambition, driving him to the edges of the known world in his quest for glory. Yet, the royal household was not just a nurturing environment. It was a hotbed of political intrigue and power plays, a fact that Alexander learned at an early age. He witnessed the machinations of his mother, who, despite her marginalized position as a foreign queen, wielded considerable influence within the court. Olympia's cunning and ambition were instrumental in shaping Alexander's own political acumen. King Philip's numerous marriages and the resulting half-siblings for Alexander added another layer of complexity to the court's dynamics. These relationships were not just familial, but also political, with each new marriage representing a potential threat to Alexander's claim to the throne. In the shadow of a powerful father and a scheming mother, Alexander was learning the art of survival and power. These early experiences within the royal household would contribute significantly to his development as a leader, shaping his strategic thinking, his understanding of human nature, and his ambition. They prepared him for the challenges he would face as king, and ultimately, as a conqueror. For Alexander, the royal court was not just a home, it was a training ground for greatness. In the shadow of a powerful father and a scheming mother, Alexander was learning the art of survival and power. In the realms of philosophy and strategy, a young prince found his mentor in the great Aristotle. Alexander's education, a privilege of his royal birth, was an essential part of his upbringing. Under Aristotle's tutelage, the young prince was immersed in a world of knowledge, exploring various subjects from philosophy and politics to science and the arts. Aristotle, a student of Plato and a philosopher of great repute, was not merely an educator to Alexander. He was a guide, a mentor, and a source of wisdom. He instilled in Alexander an insatiable curiosity, a thirst for knowledge, and a deep appreciation for the arts and sciences. This education laid a strong intellectual foundation for the young prince, shaping his worldview, honing his strategic skills, and influencing his leadership style. Alexander's lessons weren't limited to textbooks and scrolls. Aristotle often led his students on expeditions, teaching them about the natural world and the importance of observation. These experiences fostered a love for exploration in Alexander, a trait that would later fuel his expansive military campaigns. But it wasn't just about knowledge and exploration. Aristotle, a strong advocate of virtue and morality, also imparted lessons on ethics and leadership. He taught Alexander that a true leader is one who leads with reason, not force, and that respect is earned through virtue, not fear. These teachings deeply resonated with Alexander and greatly influenced his approach to leadership. Aristotle also exposed Alexander to the works of Homer, particularly the Iliad. The epic tale of heroes, honor, and the glory of conquest captivated the young prince. It stirred in him a desire for greatness, for glory, and for a legacy that would stand the test of time. The Iliad, in many ways, became a blueprint for Alexander's future conquests. The lessons from Aristotle were not just of philosophy and politics, but of leadership and ambition. Alexander, under Aristotle's guidance, was not just learning about the world, he was preparing to conquer it. The seeds of ambition were sown, the foundations of leadership were laid, and a future king was being shaped. Aristotle's apprentice was on the path to becoming Alexander the Great. The sudden death of King Philip II catapulted Alexander from a prince to a king. This unexpected event, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, thrust the young prince into a world of power and responsibility. King Philip's assassination, happening under the most suspicious of circumstances, sent shockwaves throughout the kingdom. The king was dead, and the throne was vacant. In the immediate aftermath, chaos ensued. Macedonia, a kingdom on the brink of expansion, was suddenly without a leader. The political vacuum threatened to destabilize the realm, and rebellions began to bubble beneath the surface. But amidst the turmoil, Alexander, barely 20 years old, rose to the challenge. Alexander's ascension to the throne was not a simple coronation. It was a swift, decisive series of actions through which he claimed the mantle of leadership. He began by dealing with rivals and dissent within the kingdom. Potential usurpers were swiftly eliminated, their plots and schemes crushed under the weight of Alexander's resolve. His next challenge was to quell the rebellions. Rebellious factions, seeing an opportunity in the young king's ascension, rose against the throne. But they underestimated Alexander. His strategic brilliance shone through as he quashed the rebellions, not just with military might, but also through diplomacy and negotiation. Alexander's ascension was not just about securing his rule, but also about demonstrating his ability to lead. His actions during this period highlighted his strategic acumen, his decisiveness, and his willingness to do whatever it took to secure his kingdom. He was not just a king by birthright, but by action and resolve. His ascension to the throne was a baptism by fire, a trial that tested his mettle and shaped him into the leader he was destined to become. In the face of adversity, Alexander demonstrated his strategic brilliance and leadership, securing his position as the king. His ascension to the throne was not just the start of his reign, but the beginning of an era that would change the course of history. With his throne secured, Alexander set his sights beyond the borders of Macedonia. The winds of change were blowing, and they carried with them the seeds of Alexander's ambition. The young king had solidified his rule at home, but his gaze was drawn to the horizon, to lands uncharted and realms unclaimed. The fires of his ambition were stoked by the tales of glory and power that lay beyond the confines of his kingdom. Alexander's early military campaigns reflected his strategic genius and his unquenchable thirst for expansion. He led his forces with a firm hand and a clear vision, focusing on strategic locations that would strengthen his hold on the region. He moved swiftly, his actions a testament to his belief that fortune favors the bold. But Alexander was not content with mere territorial gains. He sought to create a legacy that would echo through the ages. his eyes turned towards Persia, the mighty empire that had long been a thorn in the side of the Greeks. This was not a decision taken lightly. It was a calculated risk, a gamble that would either make him a legend or break him entirely. Alexander's decision to embark on the Persian campaign was born out of a mix of ambition, strategy, and a desire for revenge. He saw in Persia an opportunity to unite the Greek city-states under a common cause, to exact retribution for past wrongs, and to etch his name in golden letters on the canvas of history. The Persian campaign was more than a military expedition. It was a journey into the unknown, a leap of faith that required courage, determination, and an unyielding belief in one's destiny. Alexander was not merely stepping onto a battlefield. He was stepping onto the pages of history, writing a story that would be told and retold for generations to come. As Alexander prepared to march towards Persia, he was not just a king, but a conqueror ready to carve his name in the annals of history. The stage was set for a grand campaign that would change the course of history. With a kingdom secured, young Alexander was ready to etch his name in the annals of time. A colossal task lay ahead, the mighty Persian Empire. Yet the ambitious king, armed with the wisdom of Aristotle and the courage of a lion, was undaunted. A saga of epic proportions was about to unfold. Join us in the next episode as we journey with Alexander the Great on his epic Persian campaign.